Welcome to another episode of Taking Our Power Back. Today, we're talking about standards. If you're anything like me, you spent majority of your youth people-pleasing, avoiding the word no, scared of disappointment, scared of conflict, and terrified of hard conversations. But what has that gotten you? What I experienced was one-sided relationships, unfulfillment, always feeling like I had to wear a mask, and also not feeling loved for my authentic self. I felt like my love and my worthiness and approval from others came from what I can do for them. So I was always that girl showing up. I was always that girl helping, overextending myself, giving gifts, spending my time. And now, as a girl that went through her healing journey, I'm still healing, but I did a lot of work and therapy. I used coaches and I really just healed my body. I healed my anxiety and depression. And even though healing is a lifelong journey, I'm here to tell you what I have learned so far and give you some tips so you can start living a fulfilling life. And no, the tips are not going to be to buy a silk pillowcase, to start talking softer, to isolate yourself. No, these are going to be daily habits that you're going to implement on your everyday life where you're going to start practicing these habits starting today. First, we're going to start with knowing what you want. Everybody was put on this earth with a purpose. But as we grow up and we are influenced by our parents, our peers, our teachers, our jobs, media, our community, we drift away from the original purpose that God put us here for. So to figure out your purpose, you're going to take a step back, pause. It's not something that you find out by asking other people. It's not something you find out by what would make you happy, because that's your ego. You're going to figure out what your purpose is by sitting with yourself, asking yourself really deep questions and analyzing your life and reflecting on moments where you didn't feel good and you did feel good. You can do this with a professional therapist or a professional coach, or you can even do this with a trusted loved one. Sometimes thinking about your childhood and doing some healing work with you, it's called healing your inner child, can also help you identify what your purpose is. But the good news is that everyone was put on this earth with a purpose. So you have one. You just have to figure out what is yours. For example, I grew up feeling like the black sheep of the family. I never felt included. I never felt welcomed. And this was not because they were doing anything. This was the purpose that was given to me when I came into this earth, to help myself feel like I belonged. And now I am on YouTube helping people find where they belong. And this is all an internal thing. You just have to remove and shed everything that society, your parents, even though they did this with good intentions, throw it out. Because we're not going to live our whole lives according to what other people put on us. Why? Because you got the beautiful gift of being born with it. Maybe it's being believed. Number 2, you're going to start listening to your intuition. Your intuition is physically located under your belly button. It's your gut. You ever heard the saying, listen to your gut? What is your gut telling you? Ask your gut. It's not just a saying. It's a real physical thing. That's also where your nervous system is located. So when people say the metaphor, oh, I got butterflies in my stomach, sometimes it could be related to romance. It could be related to anxiety. It could be related to fear. This is your gut. A lot of the time, a lot of people don't listen to their gut. They actually rebel against it because they don't trust it. So this is where you're going to build also a lot of self-trust by listening to your gut, reaping the rewards by having a positive experience, by feeling good, and then continuing that cycle. But to even listen to your gut, you have to shut off the noise. And how are you going to do this? Stop asking people for advice. Stop asking people for guidance. I remember when I was my most lost, when I was in college, I was asking everybody, what do I do? What career do I do? What major should I major in? Following whoever looked confident in front of me. But I'm going to tell you right now, the only person that has the answer is you. I chose a whole career path. I spent years in a industry and doing a job that my gut never aligned with. You know what aligned with it? My mind. I didn't train myself to listen to my gut and trust my gut. I could have avoided years of doing a stressful job. I could have started this years ago. I don't have any anxiety on camera. I have no anxiety while editing my videos. I'm having so much fun. But because I didn't trust myself when I was in high school, when I was picking a career path, I wanted to go with the safest route. And what felt safe is somebody else telling me what to do. Now you see why the podcast is called Taking Your Power Back. No, I think anybody in this world can relate to this, rich or poor, wherever you are. There has been one time where you depended on somebody else making the decision for you. Nope, not anymore, because who's going to reap the consequences of that? It's you. You reap the consequences of it. Do I regret spending almost a decade in an industry that I hated, doing a job that was never aligned for me? No, because now I have a lot of content and a lot of wisdom and a lot of advice to give from that experience. That's why I'm telling you, you don't want to look back and blink your eye and think, oh, wow, I literally knew what I wanted to do and I didn't listen to myself. Normally the answer is always within us. Sometimes we just don't trust it. We feel selfish. We feel shame. We feel like we're not supposed to want that. But babe, it's okay. Even if it's a little dark, acknowledge your darkness. Don't hide away from it. Humans are born with balance. We're not angels all the time. We have questions. We are curious. We are a little weird. Embrace your weird side. That's really what's going to make you special in this world full of robots, because everyone is consuming the same content, dressing the same. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. Social media has really normalized one way of identifying success. And I want to tell you right now, success is wherever you make it. I live in New York City, and I'll give you some examples. Some of the most depressed people that I've come across are men working in finance, and they're lawyers, they're doctors. I'm talking about they are walking robots because their job is so stressful. Like millions of dollars of other people's money being handled by you, an imperfect human that's not healed, that's not fully confident, that's surviving by their egos and drugs and dopamine rushes and money as the incentive of their actions. Imagine living like that. Stress. A lot of stress. And I don't think they woke up one day and were like, I want to be an investment banker. You know, I'm sure at some point in their lives, they identified that as an option so that they could feel worthy, so that they can make enough money. Who told them what was enough money? At what dollar amount are you willing to give away every 24 hours of every day of your life until you're able to retire? Another thing about finance and investment bankers, like to be the person in your family making $400,000 after taxes and rent to live in a major city and never ever being able to use your vacation days. Is that a life that you want? Think about it. But the thing is, when we're making these decisions, we're so young. We're teenagers. Why aren't colleges and high school teaching kids about self-awareness so that they can make proper decisions about, like, how do I want to envision my life? Picking a career because of a dollar amount is not it. Making a decision from an unhealed place is, academia. I've met so many teachers that don't want to be teachers. And I just asked myself, why? I asked them, like, why did you even become a teacher? Oh, because I know I will always get a job. Cool. Okay. Limiting yourself to one career path. What is it? What kind of mindset is that? Who has the answer? I do. That lack mindset. What is a lack mindset? Thinking that you are limited in your decision making. Thinking that you have limited options. That is a lack mindset. Why are you, a teenager, assigning a lack mentality to yourself? As a teenager, that's when you should have the biggest abundant mindset. You have the most energy. You have the most brain power to learn something new, the most enthusiasm. When I was a teenager, I didn't even have to sleep. Like, you have the most energy. Why are you limiting yourself to one career path for the rest of your life? Ooh, I am so proud of like the teenagers now where they are taking their power back. Yes, some of them are still deciding, they're still thinking from their ego and deciding to go into finance, but a lot of them are taking their power back and starting businesses, starting their content creation journeys. And I love this for them. Millennials are the last generation that didn't have social media when they were growing up. So a lot of millennials did follow the normal path of a corporate job, blue collar job. But now that the younger generation has access to social media, they now have exposure to, oh, I got options. And I love that for them. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean we can't tap in. If you're unhappy with your corporate job and you have any ounce of willpower to start your creative journey, do it right now. Okay? Once you start listening to your intuition and you start analyzing times in your life where you let yourself down, where you didn't follow your intuition and you suffer the consequences, or when you did and you reap the rewards, from that information, start writing down what are your standards going forward. Your standards will protect you from low vibrational experiences where you go against your intuition. Point blank, period. It's that easy. So your standards are there to protect you. Your standards are there to remind you of what you're willing to accept. Because if you're a kind person, you might waver. You might compromise to make someone happy or your boss happy or like just humanity. You might compromise. But if you know what your standards are, you can then always go back to them and analyze your decision making. You'll never have to ask anyone for advice again. The only time you should ask people for advice is like someone older or ask somebody for expert advice. But when it comes to your life and making a decision according to your life, you got the answer. You should never die in somebody else's hand. Never. It's dangerous. It's your life. Deal with the consequences. They could disappear tomorrow. Your girlfriend who's always giving you advice on like who you date, what you should do, what you should wear, she can get a husband tomorrow, get pregnant, move across the country, you never see her again, and now you designed your whole life according to her, and now she's gone. And now you're sitting with yourself like, I didn't even ever like that. I didn't even like her. Okay. Start writing down your wins. You have some. Even if it's like in middle school, I was always picked first for kickball because I looked the strongest and I always won. That's a win. Write that down. Start writing down your wins so you can start identifying as a winner. Having a winner's mindset, the same as having a hero mindset. You make things happen. You start identifying as a person that gets things done. You gotta start identifying as a person that is a winner. This is super important, again, for your self-trust, for your confidence, for your resilience. Once you build your confidence, then what happens? You start taking more action. You start being more fearless. Next is number 5, is being fearless. When's the last time that you tried something new, like truly something you didn't have any experience with, but you were like, you know what? I have the confidence that I'm gonna go in there and whatever happens, I'm gonna be okay. I started doing this. I remember for years, I was a scary cat. I'm talking about I wouldn't try anything. I wouldn't do anything alone. I wouldn't try anything new. I liked my routine. I was staying in my comfort zone because my anxiety was sky high. I wasn't listening to my intuition. I identified as a loser. Nothing worked out for me. Playing small, because when you play small, you never have to worry about someone calling you out. You never have to worry about looking dumb, right? Because you know what, I've done this before. Everything's going to be okay. When you start moving fearless, the doors that open up for you, the respect that you gain for yourself and how others see you. Others will start respecting you because you are no longer in this victim mindset. You are walking into the fire brave, and that is sexy. Start asking more from life. Start asking for more. The minute you start asking for more, you're going to get some. Oh shit, I didn't mean to say. Okay, Neo, baby, my YouTube crush. Once you start asking more from life, you are going to receive. So be careful what you ask for, but ask for it. I remember times I'm like, you know what? I'm ready for more. I'm ready for doors to open. I'm ready for, not going to lie to you. I sabotaged a lot of doors because I was terrified. Like, you have to crawl before you walk. But start asking for more and start looking around for opportunities. What's going to make it or break it for you when it comes to living an abundant, rich life. Sometimes just one opportunity could change your whole